Aurora spent just over $80 million to secure a lot of land that is, the water rights are on the Catlin Canal, one of the most senior canals, of course, down in this area. What their intent to do is to transfer that water for their consumptive use no more than 3 times out of every 10 years. This is different from the way that they've done things before, which started up around in Crowley County, where it was generally a complete dry up, and we see what remains of that, and then all of the water leaves, never to come back. Under this new plan, their intent is to keep the farms operating, even when it's in one of those 3 years. They plan to try to utilize a crop that doesn't need direct irrigation, or to find a way to just keep the farmland active and no loss of jobs, no loss of tax revenue, etc. One of the things with this idea, though, is you can only utilize this type of water plan for 3 consecutive 10-year blocks. So they're able to do that for 30 years with no problem. This doesn't have to go to water court to be approved because it's a interruptible water supply. If it was a complete bind dry, it would have to go before water court, and that would be, of course, a huge thing. Everybody down in this area would contest against this move. So what does that leave us now? Well, what Aurora is doing is they're trying to utilize an earlier intergovernmental agreement that they have with the Southeast Colorado Water Conservancy District. They entered into this IGA back in about 2003, and they did so, again, at that time to avert a lot of litigation from basically every water user in the Arkansas Valley, from all the way up at Buena Vista, probably all the way to the state line. So in utilizing this IGA, they're now going to use Frying Pan Arkansas infrastructure to trade their water up to Twin Lakes, where it would be, again, released into the Arkansas River. But further up the stream, there is a specific transfer gate that is part of a project that was built by Aurora and Colorado Springs. So the intent of the Frying Pan Arkansas project was to bring Western Slope water to the residents of the Arkansas Valley. And as we're now seeing, as every taxpayer who is in the Arkansas Valley helped pay for this and fund this project, you now have your northern Colorado cities are looking to utilize this as a means for them to transfer water that should be here, either if it's coming through the Fry-Ark project or if it's native waters itself, and move it out of the valley. And once that begins to occur, that water will never come back. The Arkansas River is already a heavily overallocated water system. That basically means that for every gallon that's coming down the Arkansas River, there's probably about 1.2 to 1.3 people who have already asked for that particular gallon of water. So if we start to see more and more through other large municipalities who have the money and the influence to come down, buy farms, and begin transferring this water out of our basin, where will that leave La Junta, our fellow communities, our fellow ag partners in the future? So by passing this resolution, it's showing that we're in partnership with the Southeast Conservancy District, believing that Aurora very well is in violation of that earlier agreement. But more importantly, I believe we're beginning to start a foundation to where, as future passes, we can begin to look at the greater need to pass state resolutions, state law, that will prohibit the future transfer of water out of our basin to any other basin in the state, specifically to your larger communities up north and along the Front Range. I could guarantee you that if La Junta somehow had the opportunity to buy a North Platte water right and transfer it down here, they of course would step up and say, no, we have a greater need for that up in our region. Well, we have a greater need for the water down here in our valley than Aurora does up there.
Does anyone have any questions for Tom?
The question of who owns the water outright will impact us, because we were told that even though we have water rights or can access that water, weren't we told that they actually own the water and they can take project water from us? And I know that's not, it's a different issue, but same entity that now we would be in support of a resolution of?
Any water that Aurora's able to take, if it is project water, would have been water previously allocated to those farms through the Fry-Ark, Arkansas agreements. All land down here has specific percentages that they're allocated, let it be municipal, agriculture, etc. So another main difference between this is the Fry-Ark, Arkansas project was a federally funded program that was paid for, of course, by all of us here in the valley, from our grandfathers all the way up. When Aurora joined into needing to utilize the Frying Pan project, yes, through that IGA, they agreed to pay $25 million over 40 years, of which they have currently paid $11 million. So they are paying to it, but they're paying, I believe, for a utilization of a project and of water that was not that project's intent.
Thank you.
Any other questions for Mr. Sebo?
No, thank you for your explanation.
Thanks, Tom.
Thank you.
All right, do we have a motion?
I'll make a motion to adopt the resolution concerning the Southeastern Colorado Water Conservancy District and Aurora's compliance with the October 2003 intergovernmental agreement.
I have a motion, do I have a second?
I'll second.
I have a motion and a second, any further discussion?
Yeah, I think if anybody can admit they know anything about water and water law in Colorado, it's that they don't know enough. And I think that the 2003 agreement was hammered out with a lot of stakeholders at the table, and a lot of hard work was done. And I absolutely agree with how this is worded, and I agree with the intent of it, that it's for us to say, yes, we still believe in the cooperative governance that was behind the original document, and that's why it's important for us as a city council, way down on the rungs of who really has a say in this. I do believe in the cooperative governance that was behind it, and that's why I'll be supporting it.
How much do we own in Catlin, Tom?
Not much, because it's a really expensive and very senior water right. I think the city of Lahana owns, it's in the neck of the woods of 35 shares.
Thank you. All right, any other discussion? If not, I'll ask for your vote. And that passes unanimously.